Troy, can you talk about the super chat here? Jacob says, love the show. Just read How to Be an Asshole. So dark, love it. Realize I already embodied a few of the traits from my 5-year daytime approach. Why is that important? Like, is that tied into high value? If you can tune into your inner asshole.
Well, thank you first of all for the comment, Jacob, and thanks for picking up the book. Yeah, I mean, well, again, I think it comes down to this distinction between what women find attractive versus what is perhaps considered by other guys within a collegiate fraternity to be high value. If you have dark triad traits, that is to say psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism, then you are likely to be successful with women because guys with those traits tend to over-index in the number of promiscuous lovers that they take. You're also incidentally likely to be successful within a business context as well, because a lot of CEOs and high-performing individuals also have those traits. But does that make you a good guy that a group of other men are going to sort of want to hang out with? Are you honorable? Are you somebody who, you can be trusted? Are you somebody that they want to spend time with? Probably not. So there is a distinction, but if you look at the studies, if you look at the work that's been done in this area, the truth of the matter is that people who over-index in these hot dark triad traits do tend to get some of the cash and prizes that they want out of life. So, it's one of those things where it depends what you mean exactly by high value, because you could be a high value dark triad guy who's got a string of, lovers and mistresses and has also made a ton of cash, but you could also be a complete dirtbag. So it depends where you sit in terms of what you really value in that sort of high value sense.
That's a good point.
I mean, just being honest and saying no makes you an asshole, though. So, like,
yeah,
just being able to say no to a girl, now you're an asshole.
Exactly. But if you think about like the Rule Zero sort of extended family, if you like, I mean, all of the people who are on board here, we all like each other, we all respect each other. That's not to say that, individually, some of us, maybe we have those traits, some of us maybe more than others, whatever. But individually, we all come together because there's that bond of trust, and there's that, we know that we're not going to screw each other over. And obviously, if something does happen, then it's going to, there's going to be consequences to that. So if somebody within a group like this suddenly started acting like the dark triad kind of edgelords, they probably get pushed out, wouldn't they? Because it wouldn't sit within that framework. So do you see what I mean? But there again, that same dude could be really, really successful in his own right. So there is a sort of distinction between what we value.
A really important point that you made there is about disagreeableness. And men that are disagreeable make more money and get more poon than guys that are agreeable. It's why these white knight dudes that like bend the knee to women and they have pronouns in their Twitter bio and they're male feminists that voted for Biden, they don't get any. They think if they throw enough attention or become enough of a supporter of, the feminist agenda, that they're going to get abundant, poon thrown at them left, right, and center. It doesn't work that way. And that's why you see more men running businesses than women, because men typically embody that trait and they become less agreeable. And one of the unique things that you'll find out about women that engage in entrepreneurship and start up their own business, not a lot of them. I mean, I'll probably say the ratio is something like 25-1. They are also disagreeable. They also start to embody these dark triad traits. I mean, there's still a little bit more on the, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And they tend to run, the kinds of businesses that are like tied into that sort of narrative. But like, you get the point, right?
Right. Yeah. I think there's something about being able to, how can I put it? Being able to work well with others as well. You can be dark triad. You can do all those stuff. You can have those qualities. But if you also at times, not all the time, but you need to have this ability to work with others. And I think we've seen examples, haven't we, in our own space where people who are they're so sociopathic, they index so highly on that they end up screwing themselves over because yes, they've got the dark triad stuff, and in theory that might make them somewhat successful in one area. But also there are times when you do need to work with other people as well. And if you can't do that, you kind of end up on an island on your own, and that can be dangerous for anybody.
You have to be a consensus builder is what you have to be.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Rich, because I've got several essays written about dark triad traits. And there, what was it? Agreeableness and humility in men in men has been associated with a negative predictor of sex partners. And I've got just put the link in there in the chat right there. There's a really good, I don't know if this is a meta-analysis or not, but it's a really good research article. It's called The Distance Between Mars and Venus, Measuring Global Sex Differences in Personality. And that was one metric that they used was, agreeableness, over agreeableness, just basically being a doormat kind of thing. And I don't mean, and again, by order of degrees, don't take me in binary extremes here, right? I'm not talking about guys like, like there's some like the stereotypical kind of doormat beta male, chump AFC, right? I'm talking about like by order of degree. Most guys are probably leaning more towards the agreeableness side of things because they are amongst a majority of guys are amongst those 80% of guys that women don't want to have sex with, that don't want to reproduce with those guys. They might be good candidates for the attractiveness side of hypergamy. They might eventually become good candidates for the 3 Ps: protection, provisioning, and parental investment. But it doesn't mean they're going to be parentally invested in their own kids because they're agreeable. Right. Yep. If you're going to lay down for other things, like if your base, like core personality is based on agreeableness, you're probably going to be okay with raising another man's child. That right there is an indicator of a guy who is a beta male, who's part of that 80%, that he has a utility. He has a usefulness because he can provide and he can be at least somewhat, at least pay for protection, if not be physically protected, and can be parentally invested in keeping the children of the guy that she's already bred with, that she's already had, reproduced with. That right there marks you as the guy that is going to be seen as one of the 80%ers. He's going to be the beta males. Again, I'm trying to just keep this in abstract terms here, but remember how we always say, women break rules for alphas and they make rules for betas. Let's focus on the make rules for beta side, right? If a woman is making rules for you, she probably sees you as agreeable. She probably thinks you'll obey. She probably thinks you're going to be okay with those rules. Wait for sex. Oh, we should wait for sex. And if you can gaslight yourself, if you can incorporate that into your belief set from, I don't care if you're 5 years old or you're 50 years old, right? If that's already a part of your belief set to begin with, you've already kind of tamped down those dark triad traits that are going to make you attractive, are going to make you arousing anyways in the first place. Because guys who are unapologetically dark triad are the guys that are going to be reproducing. They're the guys who are going to be getting things done. Now, you have to be a consensus builder, as Troy was saying. There's still that balance between being an asshole and then being a guy who other guys like to hang out with. There's still social proof. You still have to be able to sort of like bring guys together, because that builds you up in the Superman / Captain America side of alpha, rather than the maverick asshole like Tony Stark, right? Or Batman. On those kinds. So if you can blend those two together in some way in the right place at the right time. You want to know why we have such a disparity between like women wanting to get with this guy at one point in their life and this guy at another. They don't even look for the guy who might be a good blend of those, because they only have use for one type of guy, one type of alpha, one type of high value guy at one particular time in their lives. That's why I wrote Preventive Medicine, so that you will know at various stages of women's maturity what it is that they're looking for primarily, and you can customize and cater your game so that you can be more successful and understand women's nature at 18 and at 28 and at 38.